Hey, so today we're going to do something a little different. I don't have my usual setup with me in terms of my computer and my microphone. So I'm just going to read it off my phone. So enjoy. Okay, let's put in today's date, which is July 9th. And it looks like there are only two documents for today. So let's start with general orders. General orders. Headquarters, Cambridge, July 9th, 1775. Parole, Effingham. The Continental Congress, having been pleased to appoint Horatio Gates, Esquire, Brigadier General and Adjutant General of the Army, he is to be obeyed as such, and all orders transmitted through him from the Commander-in-Chief, whether written or verbal, are to be punctually and immediately obeyed. All soldiers, more than 2 a company, are at present absent on furlough, and all officers, non-commissioned officers, and soldiers who have not joined their respective corps, to be ordered forthwith to camp. The commanding officers of corps to be answerable to the general for an immediate obedience to this order. The general, or in his absence, the commanding officer at Roxbury, to send a report every day in writing, sealed up, to the Commander-in-Chief at headquarters in Cambridge of all the material occurrences of the preceding day, mentioning particularly all arrivals of ships and vessels in the bay, and what changes and alterations are made in the stations of the men of war, transports, and floating batteries, etc. Footnote number 1. Horatio Gates was appointed Adjutant General by the Continental Congress on 17th of June. Footnote number 2. George Washington included a similar directive in General Orders 4th of July, 1775. Footnote number 3. Brigadier General John Thomas was the commanding officer at Roxbury at this time. Okay, let's check out the next document. Council of War, 9th of July, 1775. Okay. Cambridge, 9th of July, 1775. Council of War. At a council of war held at headquarters, Cambridge, July 9th, 1775, present His Excellency General Washington, Major Generals Ward, Lee, and Putnam, Brigadier Generals Thomas, Heath, Green, Gates. The General laid before the Council a letter from Mr. Warren, President of the Congress of Massachusetts Bay, enclosing a letter from Mr. Gary of Marblehead dated July 8th. 1. A question was proposed and considered viz. What is the number of the enemy in and near Boston, including the troops formerly and lately arrived, and there expected, the Tories who may take arms, such as sailors, as may be spared from the fleet, and the Negroes, upon which it was agreed that from the best intelligence the force on the side of the enemy now amounts to about 11,500 men. 2d. A question was proposed and considered whether it is expedient to keep and defend the posts at present occupied, or to retire farther back into the country, upon which it was unanimously determined that the public service requires the defense of the present posts. Question 3. A question was proposed what number of troops may be necessary for the present service in and near Boston to defend the posts now occupied against the force supposed to be employed against us, upon which it was agreed that the army for the above purpose ought to consist of at least 22,000 men. 4. As by the returns now made, the number of effective men is far short of the above estimate, a question was made in what manner the deficiency shall be supplied, and it was agreed that the same ought to be done by sending an officer from each company of the forces raised in Massachusetts Bay to recruit the regiments to which they respectively belong to the establishment fixed by the Provincial Congress, the colonies of Rhode Island and Connecticut being already engaged in recruiting, and that in the meantime His Excellency the General do apply to the Provincial Congress of this province for their assistance in procuring a temporary reinforcement, subject to the same military rules as the army now raised, inasmuch as the present extent of lines and the great probability of an early attack render such reinforcement indispensably necessary. 5. As the events of war are uncertain, and a want of a proper rendezvous might, in case of any misfortune, occasion a dissolution of the whole army, it was proposed to appoint a proper place for this purpose, in case our present situation should not be tenable. Nemine contradiciente. NC agreed that the Welch Mountains, near Cambridge, and in the rear of the Roxbury lines is a suitable place. 6. A question was proposed whether it is expedient to take possession of Dorchester Point, or to oppose the enemy if they should attempt to possess it. Unanimously agreed in the negative as to both. 7. Nota bene that 10 horses and bridles, saddles be provided in order to carry intelligence from the outposts and camps. 8. That a beacon be erected on Blue Hill. Okay, footnote number 1. Nathaniel Greene, commander of the Rhode Island forces, was one of the 8 brigadier generals appointed by the Continental Congress on 22nd of June. He became a major general in August 1776 and rendered invaluable service to the American cause as Continental Quartermaster General from 1778 to 1780, and as commander of the Southern Army from 1780 to 1783. 2. Neither letter has been found. 3. Transport ships carrying 4 regiments of reinforcements from Ireland arrived at Boston at various times between 22nd of June and 19th of July, 1775, bringing the strength of the British regular forces in the town to about 6,000 men fit for duty and about 1,400 sick or wounded. 4. George Washington expressed his personal views on this question in his letter to Richard Henry Lee of 10th of July. 5. The returns showed that the American army outside Boston consisted of about 16,000 men, of whom about 14,000 were fit for duty. 6. George Washington instructed the Massachusetts colonels to send out recruiting officers in general orders of 10th of July, 1775. The authorized strength of each Massachusetts regiment was 590 men. Nathaniel Greene wrote to Deputy Governor Nicholas Cook of Rhode Island on 9th of July, quote, "A general council of war was held today at Cambridge, at the close of which His Excellency General Washington directed me to acquaint you that he thinks it necessary that the recruits be forwarded as soon as possible, and what tents are made or can be got made be forwarded as soon as may be. The captains or one of the subalterns come forward with the recruits of each company. I am informed by His Excellency that the expense is to be a continental expense. This you may be assured of, and as every government will receive pay for the number of troops they send, I hope the people will enlist cheerfully." 7. George Washington wrote to James Warren about these reinforcements on 10th of July, 1775. 8. In his first version of this paragraph, Reed wrote that the Welsh Mountains lay, quote, about 5 miles from Cambridge, end quote. But in a second version, written at the end of the draft, he changed the wording to, quote, near Cambridge, end quote. The Welsh Mountains were probably the hills at Newtown, Massachusetts. Or Newton, Massachusetts. Number 9. Reed also rewrote this paragraph at the end of the draft. In his first version, the 2 questions involved were rendered as separate items, numbered 6 and 7. 10. George Washington requested these horses from Massachusetts Provincial Congress in his letters to James Warren of 10th of July, 1775. 11. The Great Blue Hill, located a short distance south of Milton, has an elevation of 635 feet, providing a view of the entire Boston area. Okay, if you liked that, please give a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.